Okay, this is Dee again. I'm trying something new. I don't know how this will work. So I've got my phone camera holder thing attached to my chest. So it's kind of like a you see what I'm seeing cam. I couldn't figure out a good angle to do this so you could see exactly the angle I'm seeing. But I'm just going to try to do a quick little semi-tutorial on how I cut bangs on a wig or a topper. Um, a lot of people have posted that they're really afraid to try to cut bangs or layers or do anything to their topper. And some people have said they took it to their hairstylist and they did a great job, and other people have said their hairstylist screwed it up and ruined it. So now they're afraid to even try it themselves. So I'm not a hairstylist, never had cosmetology or beauty school. I've just, trimmed my own bangs for many years, and I've experimented with cutting bangs in my own wigs and toppers, and had them turn out pretty good so far. But mainly, I don't really have a method or any special tricks. I just wing it. I just go by eyesight and feel. The first thing you want to remember is take it slow. I know this looks funny because you're just seeing the dummy and you're not seeing me. Here I am in the mirror. Hi. I'm the one talking. This is Betty. But, take it slow. Take your time. Don't rush into it. Okay? Because you can always cut more off, but you can't add more back on. It won't grow back. So take it really slow. The first thing you want to do is pin your wig on your dummy head, styrofoam, mannequin head, whatever you've got, but just make sure it's secure. Those wig stands don't really work good for this because you need something solid that you can. I've got a T-pin in the top here. I actually pinned the wig to the mannequin head so it won't fall off while I'm trying to do this. Okay? And then I take the long part of the wig and I don't know if you can see that. I just clip it back out of the way, clip the hair back out of the way. And then I've got this top hair pulled back and clipped so it doesn't fall down in my way. Now I've already started cutting this one before I started videotaping. But just to give you a little bit of an idea of what I do, I like my bangs to have kind of a tapered look. I like them a little longer on the sides and have these long kind of wispy fringes hanging down. And then I like them, shorter in the middle where my eyes are. So I just start pulling hair down from the top. You can use like your rat tail comb. This is so skinny you probably can't see it, but the skinny ended rat tail comb to kind of, go across there. I don't know if this is catching good. And, pull those hairs down that you want, right? Now, another thing to remember on a synthetic wig is how the hair falls, okay? Some wigs just naturally kind of fall down, like this one does. This one naturally laid down okay. So this is a good candidate for bangs. But I have had some synthetic wigs that, the kind that are like naturally, the hair is kind of sewn or tied in a way where they kind of seem to grow back towards the back of your head. If that's the case, pull some down and see how it hangs. If it still wants to kind of spring up and doesn't really hang good, I would suggest taking that front hair with a blow dryer, spray it, get it wet, blow dry it down with a brush, and see if you can tame it down to lay down first before you cut the bangs. Because some synthetics, not heat friendly, especially cheaper ones, are really hard to tame. They're hard to change the direction of the hair. So if it doesn't seem to want to tame down and lay nice, you probably don't want to cut bangs in it, because I have cut bangs in a cheap wig before that was like that, and the bangs just go boing, and they kind of, you know, they just don't want to lay down nice. So make sure your wig, you know, lays down nice and has the potential for bangs before you start cutting. Okay, so I kind of separated my long wispy parts here. I just put bobby pins in them so they wouldn't get mixed up with the hair in the middle that I'm going to cut shorter. And I just keep pulling down with my fingers or my comb and just keep adding to or taking away from until they just seem to look right to me, you know, to where I think it should look. You can use the eyebrows or the eyes or, you know, whatever to kind of get a general measurement. Make sure you're, you know, centered and you're not going to be like too thick on one side and thin on the other. Let's see here. Another thing before you get started, make sure your wig is on the head straight. You know, reach in there and feel for the ear taps. Make sure they're above each ear and the wig isn't tilted one way or the other, because then you're going to cut your bangs crooked or off center. So make sure your wig is nice and centered and not lopsided, and make sure the front of the wig is pulled down to where the hairline should be on the dummy head. Remember that your head is going to be different than the dummy head. Don't think that you can just cut the bangs, you know, go cutting crazy really short, and then you put it on your head and you realize, oh God, now they're up to here, because my forehead isn't the same size as the dummy. So keep that in mind. Just what you want to do is cut long on the dummy. Go extra long and play it safe. So my first cut, as you can see, this is really crooked, right? I've already been cutting on this, experimenting, but my first cut was this long piece. I cut to about chin length, okay? That's taking it slow. That's going in baby steps. So, you know, I first cut chin length and make sure it's laying down nice and I got the right amount, and take my time. And then the second cut I made on this, I started cutting some shorter ones in the middle, but by short, I mean to the end of her nose, as you can see. That's how long those are, right to the end of her nose. So that way I'm making sure that there's no possible way that I cut those too short, you know. I don't want to look like a kindergartner, so I just play it safe and slow. Take it in baby steps. And if I get frustrated, if I'm, you know, playing around, I sit here and play with this. I keep, you know, playing with it. I brush them down. I try, you know, seeing how they're going to look if I side sweep them maybe. Do I want to wear it like side swept bangs? Do I want it just in the middle? Do I want to be able to part the bangs in the middle and have them long enough to, you know, lay back like that? Or am I just going to want them down all the way across? You know, just play with it. Just sit here and play around with it like a Barbie head and see how you feel about it, and make sure before you make any permanent decisions. If you get frustrated, like I have before, I was scared doing my first one. It was my human hair topper. So I was really worried about going too short. Plus human hair, you know, can curl up when it dries. So I know that from cutting my own hair. I've done that before. So I was nervous, so I just took my time, made one long cut first, and felt a little stressed, so I walked away. You know, if you're playing around with the wig and you're just not sure, do I want these long things, or do I want it real short in the middle? Do I want to kind of curve it down and taper it, or do I want them blunt cut straight across? Do I want to cut them so they're side swept and angled? You know, if you're not sure what you like, then that's the time when you want to just take a break. Just leave your dummy head sitting here just like this and walk away. Just leave the room, walk away, leave her there, and come back to her later. Take your time. If you have to come back the next day and try again, do that. You know, just take your time. That's the trick. Don't rush into it, and it'll be fine. So anyway, I've pretty much decided this is how I want her. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut. I don't know if you can see this real good, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut a long chunk so it's all even. So now I've got this middle section of bangs, right? Cut right down to the end of her nose. Okay. Camera a little. Okay. So now I know those bangs are definitely not too short. They're gonna be too long and they're gonna hang in my eyes. So I'm gonna go shorter. Before I do that, I want to show you something real quick. Now this part on top that I've got kind of clipped back out of the way, that's something you want to think about. How thick do you want your bangs? Do you want a real thick, heavy, solid bang? Or do you want them a little thinner and wispier, you know, so you can, you know, kind of the little windblown wispy, see-through it look. I suggest starting thin, okay? When you go with your rat tail comb to pull some hair down, right? You're pulling hair down for what bangs you're going to cut. I suggest going with a thin layer first, because you can always add more thickness. You can always take your comb and, you know, pull down more later. If you cut these bangs and then you try the wig on your head and you decide they're just too thin and see-through, they need to be a little thicker, it's easy to just, you know, put it back on the dummy head, go back in with your rat tail comb and just pull a little bit more down and cut it to match the same length as the other bangs that you cut. You can always make them thicker. But once you make them really thick, you can't go back and make them thinner. The only thing you could do is, you know, pin some back with a clip if they're too thick. But usually by that time they're too short to pin back. So, you know, just take your time, go long in length, and then keep trimming small amounts until you're happy. And same with the thickness. Go with thin bangs first. And then if you want them thicker, you can always pull more hair down and make them thicker later. It's better to do less at first because you can always do more later. So I'm gonna quit rambling and try to go one step further here and go a little bit shorter. So let's see here. See, this is my process. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not trained. I'm just winging this. I just go by eyesight. So take into consideration how the hair kind of curves or curls, because, you know, if it curls up a little or has a curve, that'll make them shorter. So just kind of see where it looks like it'll naturally lay. And I'm going to go ahead and make another cut. I hope the camera is getting this okay. No, I didn't worry about cutting perfect or straight because I'm going to mess with those ends later. Okay. I think that's as thick as I'm going to want those middle bangs that are going to hang near my eyes. I don't think I'm going to need them any thicker. So I'm going to, you know, pull this hair down as tight as I can with my fingers. Try to get your cut pretty straight. Now, I don't know if this is the right length or not. I won't know till I put it on my head. It seems still a little long, but I'm going to play it safe and try it on my head first. But just to show you the finishing touch, okay? Once you put it on your head, make sure they're about the right length, and if you decide, okay, I need a little bit more trim, they're hanging in my eyes, you can cut the wig right on your own head, but make sure your bio hair is pulled back tight. I would suggest, you know, spraying it down and putting a stocking cap on or something before you put the wig on. Make sure none of your hair is hanging out, because I have actually accidentally cut some of my own bio bangs while I was cutting a wig bangs on my head. I thought I was cutting all the wig hair. I accidentally had some of my bio bangs had snuck out. I didn't mean to cut those, and I ended up cutting them shorter than I wanted. So just make sure your own hair is pulled nice and tight back and none of it is sneaking out before you start trimming your bang wigs on your head. Just a tip. But let's say we've got this to the length we want. Let's say you decided, okay, they're perfect on my head, they're not hanging in my eyes. The way I like to finish my bangs, I don't like to just blunt cut. You know, first I did use normal, regular hair cutting scissors, but then I've seen this technique where, I forget what they call it now, I can't remember, but you cut up into, instead of cutting straight across, you kind of cut up at an angle, little bits, just kind of, oh, it's called point cutting. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, you just kind of, if you don't like a real blunt end to your bangs, make them look a little more fringy and natural. Try not to cut your finger. I like to go in and do a little of this point cutting. It just kind of makes them lay nice, a little more natural, not so blunt. And then, for the final step, I'm going to take my, I don't know if you can see these on the camera, thinning shears. The kind with the little teeth in them, okay? So I'm going to go back, hold the bangs as tight as I can with my fingers, and just right along, probably about a ½ inch above the bottom. Hopefully you can see this. I'm just going to go and cut. Now see, the thinning shears have the teeth, so they don't cut every single hair. They only cut, like, you know, every other hair. So they just kind of thin out the bottoms a little, you know, a little more tapery, natural, kind of fringy look. See what I mean? My head's twisting on me, but okay. So, yeah. Now these still look really long, like I said. I'm not sure of the final length until I put her back on my head, but just to give you an idea, that's kind of what you're going to end up with. You're going to have a nice laid bang, nice little wispies. The ends won't be too blunt. If you got some pieces that are a little long, like that, you know, poking you in the eye, you just, you know, go back in and just, you know, trim as needed. Just kind of, you know, use your eyesight as your guide and judge. But err on the side of caution, you know. Don't get gung-ho and go like scissor happy crazy. Just take it slow, little tiny baby steps. Take your time, walk away if you need to, think about it, come back later, and eventually you'll get it. So this is kind of what she's going to look like, and I plan on wearing her like this with the top hair pretty much pulled back. She's full of permatease up in there. So I don't know if I'll want to wear her down like normal. I turned her into a topper. She was a wig. She was a Noriko Jackson. And I cut some wefts off and made her into a topper. I still have to put clips in her, but I plan on using her as a throw it up in a cute little ponytail kind of deal, just to give me some fringy bangs and a little ponytail. So when I get her finished, get the clips in, and actually put her on my head, I will take another video and show you what she looks like on a human. But that's just my quick little tips on cutting bangs into your own wig. You know, you don't have to be scared. It's not that hard. It's not that scary, and you don't have to be a professional stylist to make it work. Just take it slow. Go long, go thin, and add more later in baby steps. And make sure the wig hair lays down naturally and isn't gonna go boing. So, I don't know. I think that's it for now. I think she's gonna be really cute, and I will give you an update later. So, thanks for watching. Bye.